All right, welcome back to my It's the Chargers. We are one day away from the NFL draft. It's getting real. Um, I keep hearing this rumor a couple times about this potential Justin Herbert trade. Just wanted to get that out of the way real quick. It would essentially be like a Herschel Walker level type trade if it happened, which I give it like a 2% chance that it happens. Basically, the premise is that Jim Harbaugh just loves JJ McCarthy so much, and you could get such a haul for Justin Herbert. The Herschel Walker trade had four players, three first round picks, three second round picks, one third round pick, one sixth pick. For Herschel Walker, two thirds, one 10th round pick they used to have. And the Chargers actually were involved in this trade. They got a fifth and like a kick returner. Um, it's not going to happen, but if it did, it's really what set up the Cowboys dynasty in the 90s. They made this trade in 89. They got all these picks, all these players, and it set them up for success. Ugh, gosh, it would be tragic if it happened for our fanhood, but they would get a haul. It would be huge. It's not going to happen, but I mean, they've talked about it so many times. Part of the reason that Ortiz and Harbaugh wanted this job is because the quarterback was in place. And what would happen if JJ McCarthy didn't work out? The hit rate of quarterbacks is like 50% at best. So I know they know the guy, but too risky to give up that franchise quarterback. Let's go through our scenarios here of what could happen tomorrow. There's a few different options here. I'm going to share this screen here so you guys can see. There's this really cool kind of Excel mock sheet that Beerfish is made every year. It's pretty cool. Basically, you have all the player data here. You can punch in the draft spot for each of these players, but it has their overall rank, their average ranking, and all their stats, and then what each kind of news outlet has ranked them. So that goes into the cumulative average ranking and overall ranking. It also has team stat ranking, so you can see our Chargers here rank against the pass, not great. Rank against the run, also not great. Um, Pass offense is looking good. That's going to change, and the run offense is not so good. That's also going to change this year. It's got the combine results for all the players, their top RAS scores. So it's a really cool sheet that they've put together here for free to download. You can download it today and mess around with it if you want. Beerfish. Um, so what I've done here is I've kind of punched in the players that I don't think are kind of in our pool of options and our pick selections. So let's just go through it. We can talk it out real quick. Number one, Caleb Williams. I think that's pretty much consensus set in stone. I'm not the biggest fan of the guy, but he's going to the NFC, so it's fine. Number two and three, um, kind of the consensus is Jaden to the Commanders at two and Drake May to the Patriots at three. I actually would rather they switch. I think Drake May is going to be a better pro, and probably have better longevity than Jaden Daniels. And I would rather all the good quarterbacks go to the NFC. We got enough good quarterbacks in the AFC. So I would rather see Drake May go to the Commanders and Jaden come to the Pats. It also seems like a better fit having a more athletic quarterback on a team with no weapons, Patriots. Whereas Drake May with the Commanders, I think would be a better fit. But it's kind of out of our control. There's some talk about the Patriots moving out. I don't think that's happening. Got to take a quarterback. But I would rather have Drake May if I was either of these teams. Our scenario really starts here at the Cardinals. I've gone on the Cardinals like message boards and Twitter and Instagram. They are dead set on having Marvin Harrison at four. Like as much as the Charger fans want Malik Neighbors at five, the Cardinals fans want Marvin Harrison at four so bad. They're like, take Marvin Harrison, or I'm like not being a fan of the team anymore. They did some trades in the past. They've moved around. I think they're going to take Marvin Harrison. They're asking for a lot for potential move outs. They're saying like it better be very, very over the top, pay the price if you want us to give up Marvin Harrison Jr. So for right now, let's put Marvin Harrison in at number four. I mean, he's the number two prospect on the board. It would be crazy for them to pass, and it's a good fit. They have the Larry Fitzgerald thing going. I think that's obviously the right move for them is to just stick and pick Marvin Harrison. Okay. So if they take Marvin Harrison, he's off the board for us, our player pool at five. Basically, the only player that is acceptable for the Chargers to take at five is Malik Neighbors if they don't trade out. Um, So we can take Malik there. It'd be fine. It'd be great. It'd be super fun. I mean, when you watch the guy's highlights, the first play that comes up is this post against Alabama, I think, and it's just like, yeah, yeah, I'd love that guy with Justin Herbert's arm. That'd be awesome. So not a bad pick here if we did Malik Neighbors at 5 to the Chargers. I'd be happy about it, but I don't think it's the best option. The New York Giants would then maybe take JJ McCarthy, maybe take a tackle, maybe take Rome Odunze or Brock Bowers. Um, that's an interesting spot for them because they would love to have Malik Neighbors. The Giants, I think, would love to have the Vikings trade up, take a quarterback, and then the Giants get Malik Neighbors. If we don't take him and we trade, then the Giants have a lot of options. But I think they would prefer the Chargers to trade out. So if we trade with the Vikings, which is kind of the obvious pick here, let's do the Vikings here, and then we got the Chargers here. Oops, gotta do Los Angeles. Let's get our colors right here real quick. Got the Vikings, the purple people eaters. Okay, the Vikings would trade up to 5, seemingly to take JJ McCarthy, and that'd be kind of fitting if the Chargers with Jim Harbaugh traded the pick that would eventually lead to the drafting of JJ McCarthy. I think that's kind of destiny here. So Malik Neighbors no longer on the board. Malik Neighbors is probably going 5 or 6 rather to the Giants at that position. So we got Malik Neighbors there at 6. Okay. So now we move down. The Jets are an interesting one. Well, let me just keep going through. The Titans probably taking Joe Alt. Falcons, everyone has them taking Dallas Turner. The Bears have Rome Odunze as a common mock. I don't know why. I mean, they got DJ Moore, they got Gerald Everett, they got Cole Kmet, they got Keenan Allen, and they got some running backs. Swift. They still got their running backs from last year. I don't know why they would like quadruple down on offense at that point. I think they probably have some needs on defense that they could address, but it's kind of high for another defensive player. We'll leave it at Rome Odunze. I mean, if Rome Odunze doesn't go 9 to the Bears, he's for sure going 10th to the Jets. The Jets could take a tackle. They should take a tackle to protect, old A-Rod. But whatever they do, let's just have them take Fuaga. I think he's the next highest rated. We'll do Fuaga there to the Jets. Beast of a tackle. So that leaves the Chargers. If Fuaga's off the board here, that leaves us with Fashanu, Otanu, JC Latham as tackle options. Cornerback would be Quinyon Mitchell, Terran Arnold. And then if we wanted to do another weapon, Brock Bowers is still available. If we don't take Brock Bowers here, Brock Bowers is certainly going to the Broncos if they don't take a quarterback, which would be high for Bo Nix. But some people have it there. Let's do Brock Bowers to the Broncos. I think that's 12, right? Yep, 12. Okay, we got Brock Bowers, Michael Penix. The Saints and Colts, that could be kind of tackle and corner options. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Bengals would also be kind of tackle options. Tackle, maybe corner, and then we got the Chargers again at 23. So here's the way I'm thinking about it. I think if we get 11 and 23, basically we're weighing, would you rather have Malik Neighbors or would you rather have 2 of Fashanu, Quinyon Mitchell, Brock Bowers, and then another one of these guys here down at 23. So I really like JC Latham, and I think he's the best fit. I put some of his measurables there. He's natural right tackle. That's what he played. We have Rashawn Slater. We're not looking for a left tackle. That's why Joe Alt's like not even on the board for us as an option, I don't think. Fashanu and Fatanu, maybe they could play right. I mean, those guys are both left tackles, but JC Latham is like the right tackle. And JC Latham could even be available down here at 23, depending on, what kind of fits in here. Brock Bowers would be off the board at that point. We desperately need a corner. We do not have a cornerback one. Asante Samuel is not a CB1. He's a CB2. We need a corner. What would be awesome here is if we could get do you guys like Quinyon Mitchell? I spelled his name wrong here. It's not Quinton Mitchell, Quinyon. You get it. Um, I don't know who I like more, probably Arnold, but then it would be funny if we went Alabama, Alabama. Let's do Mitchell here at 11. There's Quinyon. If we went him at 11, then that kind of fills in the board a little bit. I mean, a lot of these tackles, Fashanu's going to go somewhere in here, Fatanu. We're hoping Brian Thomas, Taron Arnold's certainly going to fill in some of these gaps. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players. There's a chance JC Latham could be here at 23. Um, if we got him right there, I mean, they have him here as the 15th. If we got him at 23, he would have to fall a little bit. But again, he's a right tackle. So left tackles are obviously higher value than right. But good thing is we already have a left tackle. This would be an awesome, awesome situation. If we got a cornerback one, either Arnold or Mitchell, I like both of them. Just flavor preference, I guess. Bowers or Bo Nix are probably going to go in here. Michael Penix to the Raiders seems like it's going to happen, which, yeah, go for it. Having the combo of JC Latham and a cornerback one in the first round, we got two starting caliber players rather than one. And then we're getting an additional pick, either a third this year, maybe a third next year. Whatever it is, I would rather have two starters than one. It just makes the most sense. Malik Neighbors would be awesome, but the wide receiver class is insanely deep. I mean, we could get Brian Thomas Jr. at 23 here. Maybe if they say we'll address corners in other ways, then we could get JC Latham at 11. And we could do Brian Thomas at 23, which is, you know, those would almost be guaranteed selections at that point. I mean, then we're doubling up on offense, which, you know, we have a lot of needs. I put our needs up here at the top. We have needs at offensive tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, defensive tackle, linebacker, running back, tight end, safety. Those are all needs the Chargers have. We got to address all of them. They will all be addressed in the draft. I promise you. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 9 picks right now. If we did this trade, we'd have 10 picks. We could probably have 11. We're probably addressing all of those positions in the draft. And I'm not going to do a 7-round mock because like they're doing the scouting and seeing which players they have valued at those positions. I mean, those are probably going to be the positions that we draft. So it's flavor preference and style and, probably get some Michigan guys in there, Harbaugh's preference, but those are the positions we're drafting. And I think if we get an extra pick, sacrifice Malik Neighbors, we can get a receiver in the second round. Xavier Legette's probably the funnest. Like if we don't get Malik Neighbors, Legette's probably the next most fun receiver just because he's like a physical specimen, huge, but he's older. He's a little bit of a development project. But we could get Brian Thomas, who, if Malik Neighbors is like a 9 out of 10, Brian Thomas is like an 8, 8.5 out of 10. Like they both view themselves as wide receiver ones if Marvin Harrison is that top dog. So I like this option the best. I would like JC Latham. I would love to walk away from round one with JC Latham and Brian Thomas Jr. That's my plan A. Um, if we go one of these other tackles, they think they can convert to a right tackle, that's fine. If they like corner here, I think that's good too. We're certainly drafting a corner, maybe two. Whatever, if we draft a wide receiver in the first round, we're probably drafting two corners at some point in the draft. If we draft corner in the first round instead of wide receiver, we're probably drafting two wide receivers later on in the draft. So, but we're definitely walking away with some of those guys. But I mean, if they say, okay, we can get a wide receiver in round two, then we can go Kool-Aid McKinstry, who is where's he at here? He's probably not that far down the board. He's right here, 23. Kool-Aid, we got, these other Cooper DeJean. That'd be interesting there. Oops, I deleted it, so it's not going to show up. We got Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid and JC Latham. Cooper G, Nate Wiggins options. Guyton and Mims as tackle options, probably not. I think that JC Latham would be an awesome value pick there at 23. But if they decide, okay, we need to solidify the inside, get some centers, Jackson Powers Johnson or Barton from Duke, they're definitely going to be there at 23. Maybe Powers Johnson goes right here, but probably not. If they decide, okay, we need to shore up the inside, Byron Murphy or Newton would be great value picks there. I don't think the need is as high as getting a tackle, corner, receiver, but it's going to happen at some point in the draft. Chris Jenkins obviously been mocked to the Chargers a ton, as well as, Blake Corum, Michigan boys, but it's happening. I think my number one option would be Brian Thomas here. It makes too much sense. You have this pick at 5 that you can dangle for a quarterback that you don't need. Sacrifice Malik Neighbors, but okay, would you rather have Malik Neighbors or JC Latham and Brian Thomas? Plus another third round pick. You'd obviously, I think it weighs so heavily. I get Malik Neighbors is super fun, and I would love having Malik Neighbors if there was, if the Cardinals trade out and JJ McCarthy goes at 4, there's probably not going to be a team that wants to come up to 5 for that same price because there's not another quarterback. Nobody's trading up that high to get Penix or Bo Nix. So if the Cardinals trade out, we get Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors, so that's a win. But I think our best case scenario is that the Cardinals they can pick at 4, and then we get to trade out at 5 and pick up 2 starting caliber players. But this sheet's super fun. There's just a ton of options that we could do. It's hard to know what we're going to walk away with, but I think this is the most likely outcome. I'm so confident in this that I am placing this little wager here. If I can share this with you guys. All right, this is on FanDuel. Will the Los Angeles Chargers trade their 5th overall pick before the selection is made? $100 gets you 270. Seems pretty clear and obvious. You could also do this Cardinals one. I'm not doing the Cardinals one. I'm just doing the Chargers one, but you could do both of them and maybe they both trade. And then at worst, if only the Cardinals trade out, then you lose $20 overall. But if it both hits, that's a huge win. I think this Chargers bet is like free money. I think we're most likely trading out. And if we don't, then I just paid $100. Now we get Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. That's kind of the old trick of like betting against your favorite team. Like either my team wins and I'm stoked, or my team loses, but I get some money out of it. So it's kind of a win-win. I'm happy to pay $100 if we get to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. and Malik Neighbors. That's fine. If we don't, which I think is more likely, then we get 2 starting caliber players and you get a nice little payout there. All right, guys. The NFL draft, it's big. We're definitely walking away with a Michigan guy or 2, but I trust Ortiz. I trust Harbaugh. Harbaugh knows this class better than anyone, any head coach, certainly. It's going to be great. See y'all on draft day.